So in our previous videos, we've been looking at the marketing mix: price, product, promotion, and placement. We had videos where we looked at product design and considerations in terms of the total product. We looked in our last video at pricing strategies, and so we now just want to briefly look at promotion. So the promotional mix is going to be your combination of non-personal, personal, combined and special forms of communication aimed at that target market. So how are you communicating with those ideal clients? How are you converting those suspects into prospects, into clients, into champions? So there's a number of different ways to advertise and promote your product. You can have a website. You can be involved in social media and advertisements on various different sites. You might send out emails or physical mail to potential customers. So you may have a list of people who might be interested in your product. And so you're sending them out updates about what's happening and opportunities. I signed up once for Best Buy's, to get their coupons and discounts. And now they email me like 5 times a day with the same coupon over and over again. So as we look at the promotion, we need to figure out what is attractive, what actually reaches our customer base, and what amount of communication meets their needs. The other thing to recognize, of course, is that depending on who that ideal client is, there are better ways to reach them. So depending on the age and demographics of that ideal client, then you might be more in terms of social media, in terms of text messaging. If they're older clientele, it might be more in terms of phone calls. It might be in terms of physical mail. Does your target audience listen to the radio? Do they drive? So we can look at billboards. Do you have a physical location? So we could look at, do you need to have any kind of window displays? Are there sales calls? So you need to call the potential customers to help convert them from suspects and prospects into actual clients. Maybe your customers are other businesses. So it's more of trade shows, and it is more calling to businesses rather than more open advertising. There are benefits to different types of promotions, so it's important to take into consideration the reach in terms of how many of your target market it would actually see or hear that promotional material. The other things you have to consider is retention value. So once people hear your pitch, do they keep it in their mind? So for example, outdoor advertising and billboards, we see them quickly as we're driving by. We don't tend to keep that in our memory. And so they do have low retention value. You can only put so much information on a billboard. We can provide a lot more detail in mail, but then we have the risk, of course, is that it'll be treated as junk and then it'll be thrown away. And the other question is do you have a mailing list to send it to, or are you sending it to everybody? So can you make it more targeted? Maybe it has an individual's name on it, so there's more personal appeal. We can craft the message specific to the audience itself. When we look at television and radio, there can be higher costs here. It is a very cluttered environment. There are lots of television ads and radio ads. And so are you reaching your target market? Are they even listening? So for TV, are they just fast forwarding through the advertisements? Or maybe people are listening to podcasts or satellite radio, and so they're not even hearing your radio ads. So can you hit your target market? We want to look at the reach. We want to look at the market itself in terms of, are they individuals who would read the newspaper if that's where you're putting your ad, or see your billboard, or listen to the station that you're choosing. So there are a number of advantages and disadvantages of different types of media and different types of promotion. And so we need to tailor those choices to who the target market is, who that ideal client is, and what that ideal client uses in terms of media. Do they use social media? Do they watch TV? And so we consider that versus the cost and the number of people we are trying to target.